Hey, this is WhyBeAre with BeamNG.drive, and today we're going to be going over update 0.13.0.1, which adds a few things to the game, the most interesting of which is a new scenario called Dam Jump. And apparently it's an easy scenario, but I'm not exactly sure if I agree with that. So anyways, what we got to do is we got to jump from the dam and aim for the targets. The interesting thing about this scenario is you can actually choose what car to drive. So it starts you off with the drag version of the Burnside Special, which works perfectly well, so we'll go ahead and use it for a run or two, but then we'll try some other vehicles as well, because you don't always need a car with over 1,000 horsepower all the time, although it is really nice in this situation to hit the target that is farthest away from us, and we're going to overshoot it just a tiny bit, so we get a score of 300 out of 500, which isn't that great. That's a bronze. I like getting gold, so we're going to go ahead and try this again, and we're going to try to get that gold. So I got to go a little bit slower and I think a little bit more to the side. Not a lot there, mostly just focusing on a little bit slower. So I wait a bit before I floor it. And what are we hitting the jump at? It's about 100 miles per hour. It looked like 98 if I had to have an exact number. And where is this going to land us? That's right in the middle. That is perfect. And we still get 300 points. So I'm going to assume the score is based on what target you hit and not where you hit the target. So let's go ahead and change up the vehicle. We're going to go with something real regular, like the Bruckle Legrand. I don't even know what version I picked. I just know it's not a super sporty version. And there's really only one target we can probably hit with this thing. And that's the one that's the closest to us. You can see it just off to the left side. And I think I need to slow down a little bit to hit this thing correctly. So that's maybe a little too slow. It's going to be close. Does that count? I hit the target. I don't know if it's going to count it, though. No, that does not count. It says I missed the targets. Even though I hit it, I just didn't hit it good enough. All right, try number 2. He's going to go 3 miles per hour more, and we're perfect. But let's try something stupid. This is how we're going to make sure we go a little bit slower. We're going to do a 360 on the ramp as we go down. Over-rev the engine a little bit, but we're lined up pretty good. I got to go a little bit faster, maybe. Oh, that's like the same speed as last time, isn't it? Oh, that's like identical. Wait, maybe it counted because I hit it over it? Yes, it does. And that one is worth 500. That one's actually a gold. That I'm happy with, but I want to hit every target. So we're going to go ahead and do this again, and we're going to hit one that's farther away, so we need a faster vehicle. So ETK, come on down. Give me the track version, because I know that one will fly through the air very, very nicely. And this target is just past the one I previously did. I just got like double my speed to get to it. The last one we hit it at like 65 miles per hour. This one we're going to hit the jump at about 105 miles per hour. So not quite doubling the speed, but it's close. And we hit the target. Didn't hit it 7, but it doesn't matter as long as we touch it. So what is that worth? Is that like a 400? Yep, that is a 400, which is a silver. So that works for me. So let's go ahead and swap out the vehicle again. This time, how about an ETK again, but it's 800. We'll get the 856 TT Sport Plus because we need a pretty fast vehicle for the next one we're going to be hitting because it's high in the air. So you can just see it as we're going down this hill. It's up in that pole over there. And ooh, that slowed me down a little bit where the vehicle is bouncing all over the place. Did it slow me down too much? Yes. I don't think I actually made contact with it. Like it was a few inches away. It's going to go down the hill a little bit faster and we should be good there. So it's got to go a little bit slower at the top. Like right here, we brake a little bit and then accelerate as fast as we can. That should get us a little bit faster. The alignment is perfect. And that is a hit. Right in the middle of the target, a little low, but the left to right alignment was spotless. So that is worth 400 points. And then we got one more off to the right. That one we need an even faster vehicle that flies through the air really well. So let's go with the hill climb version of the SBR4. This thing should have no problem whatsoever getting the distance. I just got to make sure I get it angled up correctly because it's kind of hard to even see that target when we're going down the hill. And that was a terrible, terrible start. I did the same thing I did with the ETK. All right, that alignment looks pretty solid though. Oh, come on. And we got it. No, I hit it. I just didn't hit it good enough, I guess. So I guess as long as I do the exact same thing I did with an extra 1 mile per hour, will probably be good enough. We don't need much extra speed. I know I flew a little bit more the first time, so we tapped the brakes. And let's see, is that speed good? The angle looks solid. Is the speed going to make it? Yes, that is almost right on the bullseye. That was perfect. So that one is worth 500 points, which means it's a gold. And that is unfortunately the only new scenario added, but there are some new time trials available on Automation Test Track. Now, one thing worth mentioning is there were some time trials that were added in the previous update that I forgot to mention. So for right now, we're just going to go over the new ones that were added in this latest update. The first of which we're going to be looking at is called Hill Climb 2, which is a twisty climb on gravel roads. Since it's gravel roads, I don't know if we want that vehicle after all. Maybe we'll get something a little bit more rally focused, like the rally version of the Pessima, which even says the word gravel on it, so it must be excellent for this situation. One thing that's kind of interesting is the area we are starting in right now, I did not show off in my 0.13 update video. I showed off a lot of this map, but there are a lot of little roads like this one right here where I just didn't get to them. And eventually it does connect to a road that I did get to drive on, so you'll see like half new road and half old road for this time trial. And since we have a rally car on a rally course, it makes sense to be sliding around most of the corners. Maybe not all of them. Like this one, we could try to take it a little bit straighter without too much sliding. But this one, we're going to slide. Because sliding and rallying are fun to do, and it doesn't really slow you down that significantly. It's not like on a paved road when you're sliding all over the place where you're going much slower than if you were to just drive like a normal person. You notice I slowed down right a little bit on that bump because it can push you off the road a little bit if you go too fast there. I didn't want that to happen. All right, power through this. Let's go, car. This thing works all right when it's downhill and even level. But when we get to the uphill, it struggles a little bit. And this is the part that I did drive on before, so at least the part that I struggle on is a part you've seen driven before with a car that was just as slow as this one, actually, now that I think about it. I was not driving a fast car then either. Well, this is a fast car. It just doesn't have tons of power to really pull itself up a hill because you need a lot of power to pull yourself up a hill on a dirt road like this at a high rate of speed. Or just insane amounts of traction, I guess, too. That could work. Another big corner. Gotta slide it. Oh, goodness. I slid that a lot. I almost came to a complete stop right there because I tried to slide it so much. Good news, if I'm not mistaken, there's only one more corner where we have to really slide it, and it's this one right here, and I didn't actually slide it that much at all. Our next checkpoint we see, though, that one should be the last one. I am about 90% sure, and now I am 100% sure because there's no more dirt road after that, and there's no more checkpoints anywhere, so let's just bump this into the wall. And we are done in about 1 minute and 50 seconds, so I guess that's pretty good, probably. I don't really know what a good time would be for that. Anyways, the next one we're going to be doing is Short Racetrack Circuit. And yes, we are still in the Ibushu Pessima. Is it the ideal car for this? No, not really. I probably shouldn't be using a rally car, but I forgot to change it, so this is the one we're going to use. We'll see how well it does. Trying to go on the regular asphalt with wheels that are designed for the dirt and gravel and grass and snow or whatever. The point is, this car is out of its element. Although it really wants to go in the dirt. You see, I'm like going real close to the edge right there. This thing's just trying to go in the dirt because that's where it belongs. I'm trying to keep it on the road because that's what I want to do. I'll slow it down a ton right here. Do a little bit of a slide on this corner because it's tight enough where I can slide it and not lose much time. And this is the rally car, so it gets out of the corners, out of the slide real fast. Then we got a big sweeping corner. These ones I'm actually a little bit worried about for this car. Oh yeah, we got to go pretty slow through this. It's just, it doesn't want to stay gripping. It wants to slide a little bit because of the tires we have. And then here we're going a different route, and I don't know if I've ever driven this before on camera, so this is new. And you notice, since I'm a rally car, cut through the dirt. That was so pointless, but I can and I will cut through the dirt. And really, we're supposed to do 2 laps here. I'm going to say just 1 lap because this is not the best vehicle setup for the situation. So we'll just go ahead and call it right here and spin this thing out into the dirt. Maybe get a little bit of damage onto it. Yep, there goes the trunk. Now, on to the final scenario that is for the automation test track, and it is called Old Racetrack Circuit. And for this car, we're going to go with a, how about the track version of the Miramar? That sounds fun. And as long as this drive goes well, we will do both laps required to complete the time trial. And I always forget how long first gear is in this thing until you start to accelerate. And they're like, oh yeah, first gear goes up to like 50 miles per hour, which feels really long in a car with not that much horsepower. This thing is the track version. You expect it to be pretty fast, and it's pretty fast for a Miramar, but compared to like the track version of the other vehicles, it's not that fast at all. Whoa, getting some airtime. Ooh, that was sketchy. And you'll notice again, the roads we are driving on, I have not driven on in video before. So it's really nice that the scenarios that were added all have new roads for me to drive on. So I'm not like, yeah, I just drove on this road a couple videos ago and we're doing it again. It's like, no, these are new roads with maybe some old roads mixed in here and there. Like this connects to the old road that we drove on before. But it's not for long. We're only on those roads a little bit, then boom, we're on new roads again. And I have a really dumb idea too. I don't know if you guys saw that when we went around the corner a little bit ago. It looked like there was a possible shortcut. So we gotta try out and see, can we make a shortcut through the trees or not? Can I stay on the road or not? Is the first question we gotta answer. That is sort of yes. We went into the grass, but we did not spin out, and we only had like one tire in the grass, so we're okay. And we gotta slow it down a lot more here than last time. Last time we didn't even really have to slow down much at all. This time, slam on the brakes, take it easy, and then power out of there. This corner up here, we could probably cut it a little bit. Let's see. Yeah, that worked fine. And then we could probably cut this corner a little bit too. And then the next one I already cut when I flew through the air. Is it really cutting a corner if your wheels never touch the dirt? I don't know. Like if I fly over it, I don't know if it counts as cutting. Anyways, shortcut. Let's see. Something like that. Yeah. That actually looked like it worked really good. It felt fast. It felt smooth. There was no damage to the vehicle. And our time at the last split was 3.7 seconds faster. This one is 5.3 seconds faster. So we did gain over 1 second of time. So yeah, that is a really good shortcut. As long as you can consistently go between the same set of trees. If you go between different sets of trees, it might be rougher or you might not be able to fit. Who knows? And then our total time is about 6 seconds faster, so that's nice. Go ahead and crash this thing right into these barriers. And now we'll go ahead and go to another time trial that was added in this update. This one, though, is not for the automation test track. It's one of the track editor tracks. It's called Corners, and we're going to go with an SBR4. I figure if the SBR4 is used on the thumbnail for all the track editor tracks, it should be a pretty good option to drive on the track editor tracks. Ooh, that was a little bit different. Oh, and we're stuck. Okay, this is not a good vehicle for this one after all. I should have chose something with a lot more ground clearance so to be able to clear that easier. I just gotta change my approach a little bit, and I think we'll be able to make it perfectly fine right here, but it's gonna get harder, I'm pretty sure, and I don't know how well it'll do later on. But that was nice and smooth. That's no problem. How about this? A little bit of damage to the underside of the vehicle, but we're okay. And what's next? This one looks very, very bad. Yeah, that one, ground clearance would have definitely helped. Instead, we just basically slammed the vehicle into the ground. The front left wheel is all busted up. We can still accelerate, though. We're going to keep going. We're not driving straight at all. It's moving fast enough where I think I can still complete this thing. At least, probably. Like, I don't know how difficult it's going to get. That's the one thing. It could get way more difficult where it's too difficult, even if this car was perfectly intact. Which it obviously is not. It's missing the rear bumper. I think it's missing the front bumper. The radiator may or may not be damaged. I haven't been paying that much attention because I'm just worried about making it through the track and not really worried about how damaged it gets. There goes the front bumper. It was still attached until just now. Well, at least I don't have to worry about bottoming out and scraping off the front bumper anywhere. That's a nice little benefit. Uh-oh. Oh, come on! I don't have the all-wheel drive version, so it's not doing anything. Jiggle it. Yes, we made it. I don't know exactly how that worked, but that's good. Ooh. For a second there, I thought I was going to fall off. I don't know how I actually stayed on the road right there, to be 100% honest with you. Okay, that one was a little bit better than last time, but still, having no ground clearance really hurt there. And I'm flooring it. You can tell it says throttle is at 100%. The electronic stability control just does not like to accelerate right now with the wheels being all damaged up and stuff, so we're just barely moving along. But I know we can make it to the finish with the car in its current state. I know it's coming up. I know what this car can do. We got this. Just like one more checkpoint and we're done. Stay on this thing. Don't fall off. It really wants to fall off. Alright, we're done, right? We're done. We're done. I better say we're done. Okay, good. Otherwise, I would have made a huge mistake right there. So now let's go ahead and go to the next track editor track. This one is called Fast and Slow. And we're not making the same mistake as last time. We're changing cars. We're going to go with a Moonhawk And V8 Special, that sounds good. Okay, so this one looks like it's a little bit more normal than the one we were just doing, thankfully. Although then I didn't need a vehicle with the extra ground clearance now, did it? I could have kept using the SBR4, but it's too late now. We're gonna stick with the Moonhawk, and this one looks very long. This one feels like it could take a few minutes, actually. The last one took like 1 minute for a lap. This one might be like, I don't know, 4 minutes for a lap? Maybe even 6 minutes for a lap? There are tons of roads here. Oh my goodness. And this is a tight corner coming up. Slow it down. Okay, I didn't need to slow it down that much, but I got a little scared. I guess that's why it's called fast and slow. Some places you go fast, some places you go slow. Like climbing up this hill right here. Yeah, we're not going to go that fast. We can't put down the power hard enough to climb up this thing. Very similar to what we were experiencing with the Pessima we were driving off-road earlier on. Alright, now we're going downhill again, so now it's going to be a fast section, I would guess. It's kind of like slow when you go up, fast when you go down. Yeah, look at this big long straightaway. We're going to get up to some serious speed. But then we have a tight-ish corner right here. I don't want to go too fast through there. That's a nice, reasonable 70 miles per hour. Ooh, maybe not reasonable after all. Maybe a little bit too fast as I bounce so hard off of that, I almost fall off the other side. That would be terrible, wouldn't it? You're all like, okay, I can take a breath of relief because I didn't fall off. But then you bounce off of that edge, fall off on the other side, right as you thought you were good to go. Yeah, I don't want to do that at all, that's for sure. 100 plus miles per hour, probably a little too fast. Slow it down just a tad. Yeah, kept this centered there. Well, that looks tight. Slow it down. Slow it way down. Maybe a little bit too slow again. But when it says slow, you want to go slow so you don't fall off the edge. It's like, again, close to the edge for no real reason. Like, I'm going 30 miles per hour. I have no excuse if I fall off the edge because I could stop driving towards the edge in about half a second if I simply hit the brakes of the vehicle. There's no excuse to fall off. Oh, tight corners. Yeah, this is definitely the slow section here as we got these tight corners going on the uphill. It's like both of those combined make you go much slower. And I think the last scenario took 2 minutes and change for both laps. We are still on the first lap and we are about to spin out almost. So yeah, we're still on the first lap. And I don't even know where the end of this thing is. It feels like there's some sections I haven't driven, like that corkscrew over there. I don't remember doing that yet. And that looks like it'll take a good 30 seconds to drive down or up because it's pretty long. Really confused about this. And oh, don't fall off the edge. I swapped the camera, make sure I can see what I'm doing. Because I hate doing loops from the outside camera because it makes it really hard to see what's going on. And then we're done, so back to the normal camera. And the hard part about that was when I did the first camera change, I used the button on my controller. No problem there. Second one, I had to use a button on my keyboard, which meant I had to drop the controller with my steering hand. So I had no steering for about 1 or 2 seconds as I hit the camera change button. And if I was at a bad spot in that time, I would have flown right off the road, which would have been terrible. Thankfully, that's not what happened. So we're now a little bit over 3 minutes in, still on the first lap, still haven't done the corkscrew. This is definitely going to take at least 4 minutes per lap, which means it's going to take 8 minutes in total at least. And you can't make a mistake on this one too. It's not like some of the other ones where if you make a mistake, you go into the dirt and you'll be okay. This one, if you make a mistake, you actually fall off. It's the same for all the floating track ones, but this one it's a little bit worse because of how long it is. You just gotta drive really good for a long time. And I'm noticing the longer I drive, the more conservative I'm getting because I don't want to have to do it twice. You know, I'm okay with doing it twice if I fall off the road in the first 30 seconds or something. But if I fall off the road near the end and have to do it all over again, that's when it really, really sucks. All right, here's another fast section, I think. Small downhill, up to about 70 miles per hour. I don't know how fast we can go through here, though. Ooh, yeah, I don't want to go fast there. If we went faster, we could have flown right over the lip and no wheels on the ground. There's literally nothing you can do to slow down. You're just going to fall off and crash. Very careful, very careful. So here's the corkscrew. I said it was going to take 30 seconds earlier. Let's see if that's true or not. We entered it at about 4 minutes and 22 seconds. We are now 10 seconds into this corkscrew, and it looks like we're more than halfway, so it's not going to take nearly as long as I said. And we're getting a very consistent speed here of 68 or 67 miles per hour. And there's the end. It took us about 20 seconds in total to get the corkscrew. We had a slower car. I don't know if it really made it take any longer because you need at least some speed there to not fall off of it. Like, I don't know if we could go much slower than maybe 50 miles per hour right there. That's about as slow as I would expect it to work. And this might be the checkpoint we started at, so it's about a 5-minute lap. That is really long. Oh, never mind. That's done. Okay, well, on to the final new track editor track, which is called TB Raceway. And for the car here, how about an ETK 800 series? There it is. And I don't actually know, what version do we have? We have an 856T, so that should be a pretty fast version of the vehicle. Let's get a good launch. No. Electronic stability control says no launching cars. That is unsafe. We put it to sport mode, which is a little bit more lenient with things. As I always say, electronic stability control on normal, no fun allowed. Sport mode, fun allowed with a little bit of help. And then no stability control is max fun. Here though, I'm going to keep it in sport mode, because it feels really beneficial to have it on a road like this where you're bouncing all over the place, because I feel like it helps the most when the car becomes unbalanced, which can happen unexpectedly when you hit a bump like the edge of these corners like I did just a second ago. And things like that, electronic stability control will help a lot. Like right there where it just kind of bumped it, it'll stop you from spinning out a little bit more. So this course doesn't look quite as long as one we did before, but it still looks a lot longer than the one I did first for the track editor tracks. I think this is going to take maybe 2 to 3 minutes, so it'd be 6 minutes in total. So it would technically be the longest one we've done if it does end up being on the higher end of things. We'll have to see how long it actually takes. And this car, I don't think it's driving quite right. I think we just bumped one of the curves a little hard, and now it's pulling to the right some. You can see it right there. When I slowed down, it kind of just jerked to the right. I could probably do a corner where I do almost no steering and then just slam on the brakes if I needed to. I'm going to try to find a spot to do that. This one's obviously not it, because you got to do a left right after we go to the right. Maybe this next corner though, like watch this. All right, watch the steering thing in the bottom left corner of the screen. I'm just going to hit the e-brake. You see how it went to the right automatically? That right there shows you for sure that it is pulling to the right, and it's not like just the slope of the road or something, because it pulled hard to the right. A little bit of slope wouldn't cause it to pull that hard. Alright, so we're almost at the 2-minute mark, so this looks like it's going to be on the longer end of things, just as I thought it would be. Like, I thought 2 minutes was a little bit optimistic, and then 3 minutes was the more realistic guess. And with the way this thing's driving, I don't feel like doing a second lap. If it was driving still really good, I might do it. But since it's pulling to the left, it's just kind of annoying to drive it right here, because that little bit of pull can make it where you fall off the road and everything's over. So once we do a lap, which might be the next checkpoint, we'll be done. And that's really all there is for me to show you from this update. There are a lot of small and minor improvements, bug fixes, that kind of stuff, but those don't make for good videos. So that'll do it for this video. Till next time, this has been WhyBeAre. I'll see ya. And you'll see this car rolling and the outcome of the roll.